Welcome to the CBS Eye on Money show. It's Tuesday, October 25th, and we are here, me and Mark, are here to help you figure out how to make better financial decisions. And if you would like a little bit of hand-holding, if you'd like some advice, if you'd like to try to determine a better job for you, if you're on the right track, all you need to do is go to our website. It's JillOnMoney.com, and you click the Contact Us button. Once you complete the form, all you need to do is to check the box at the end, and Mark does everything else. All right, today we are talking to Sarah from New York City. How are you? What can we do for you?
I'm great. So happy to be here. This is so exciting.
Yay!
So I have a question, mostly thinking about my retirement. I'm 26, but I'm very committed to setting myself up for success. So I started a new job recently, and I'm in the process of rolling over retirement and figuring out what plans I need to do. And they have a Roth option and a non-Roth option. And I'm coming from the nonprofit world into more corporate settings. So just trying to figure out as many benefits as I can get from them and what the best plan of attack is as I'm making that decision.
Awesome. How much are you earning in the new job?
So I have a base pay of $85,000.
Woo!
And then we have, which is great for me. And then we have, I'm eligible for overtime, which I've already started earning. And then we have an annual bonus that can be anywhere from 0 to 6%, but they try to aim for 3 is what I was told.
Great. Okay, Sarah. So you're young, you're starting off, which is great. I know that from your email, you had you just also mentioned a previous profession. So tell us a little bit how you come into this. Let's start with kind of your balance sheet. So how much money have you saved? Let's do the left side of the balance sheet, the assets. How much money do you have? Let's start with emergency reserves.
Okay. So right now in my savings, that includes that, I've just over 17.
Great.
I have a 403B plan that I'll roll over that last I checked was at 7,700.
Okay, great.
And I have a Roth IRA that's just under 6,000.
You started the new job already?
I already started. I'll tell you that they contribute 4.5% regardless of what I contribute, but I've started at 6% for now.
Okay, great. Would they accept a 403B rollover into the traditional 401k?
So that's what I'm still trying to figure out because it's not so I'm not getting the answers I need. So
okay. All right. You're checking it out. That's good. Okay. So that's it. Any brokerage account or any old savings bonds that your Nana left you or anything like that?
No one's given me anything yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, there's time. Okay. How about the other side of the balance sheet, the liabilities? How about debts?
Yeah. So I just finished a master's program and my total debt from my undergrad and my grad loans are just under 48 right now.
That's a real number. Is some portion of that going to be forgiven through the loan forgiveness program?
Yeah, I believe it will be. For my undergrad loans, I have just over 12 left and I make under the amount. So I think that I should be able to forgive 10 of that.
So the good news is the undergraduate is going to be forgiven. Are you all set up? Have you gone onto the website and made sure that all of your information is updated? Have you done all those good things that will set you up for success?
So I need to go. I haven't updated my new income and all of that update yet, but I have all the information there and I can see it all. So I have
Great. That's good. That's fine. So of the 48, and also you're not paying anything on the current outstanding debt until January. Is that right?
Right. That's the plan.
Okay. So there will be, we're going to flash forward to January 1st, at which point you will have 38,000 in debt. What is the interest rate on most of that debt?
Oh, I want to say it's between 5 and 6.
Yep. That makes sense to me. Do you know what your monthly payment is set to be when things restart?
I don't. I have to check. I can tell you that before, the freeze happened,
Mm-hmm.
it was like 287 and I was paying 350.
Okay. And that was on your lower amount of income, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you feel like, okay, so do you think if you're putting 6% into your traditional or let's say your Roth, so we'll make you a Roth 401k, do you think that we could count on doing, say, 500 a month on the pay down?
Yeah, I think so. That's sort of what I'm hoping for. So
Good. Let's shoot for that. That would be great. It's interesting, though, like the contribution to your retirement account, you said that 4.5% match occurs regardless of your contribution amount. Is that right? Like if you put 1% in, they'd still put 4.5% in?
Yep, correct.
Okay, got it. All right, great. Before we got on the air, you were saying you're having a hard time figuring out where you were going to live. So what do you think you're looking at in terms of rent?
Yeah. So right now, my goal is to be around 16 for what I'm paying a month. But yeah, a little flexibility, but hoping to be in that 16 range.
Have you found anything at this point? Like, or do you feel like, oh yeah, I can find something, but it's 3,000?
Yeah, it's mostly that everything is like 3,000 to 4,000 for like a studio. But I'm looking for roommates and things like that. So I'm hoping that it won't be 3,000.
Okay. Is your job remote or is it in person?
It's mostly remote, but they like us to be in the office as needed.
Okay. So now what's the big question here?
So the big question is, one, is it best for me to put my full contribution into the Roth 401k option?
Yes.
I split. Okay.
Yes.
I figured you would say that.
Yes, Roth.
Great. And then my other question is, right now I'm paying, pretty good amount for transportation because I'm, commuting from further away while I look for an apartment, but I'm also saving a pretty decent amount. I lived off savings for the most part when I was in grad school for the year. So I'm now building back up my savings, but I'm not sure if I should use that extra cash to continue to pay my loans quicker and just get that out of the way. I don't have a car, I don't have any other debt in that sense.
Yeah.
Or if there's another way to be saving that money and do
Mark,
something else.
Excess savings, what should Sarah do with it?
I think in the short term, my focus would be getting rid of the loans.
Me too. I like that. If you look at the loans, I bet the grad school loans are slightly higher interest rate than the undergraduate. I know there's only going to be like $2,000 left on the undergraduate. I would itemize your loans exactly by go the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. And I would start cranking on them. Why not? Also, like you said, I mean, you're commuting, but your commuting costs are less than your rent will be. So I would use that excess savings and start cranking down from 6% on down. And then maybe, who knows? Listen, by the time you get to January 1st, maybe it'll be 35,000, whatever it is. It's very helpful to get a jump on that. So when you get an apartment, are you going to have to lay out some of that emergency reserve as first month, last month? Like how are the landlords talking about this these days?
So it seems like there's security deposit first month, last month, and then potentially a broker fee. So I've been keeping extra in there with the anticipation that I might need to pay up to that. Hopefully not quite as much, but you never know.
Can I ask a dumb question?
No dumb question.
You're gonna, you know what? You're a teacher and you know there are dumb questions. The dumb question is, you are living with family outside of New York and the commuting is a schlep. Is there any thought that maybe you would just keep doing that for longer as you start paying down debt?
So the only road bump in that is that I would need to have a car.
Why? You can't take the train?
I don't live close enough to the train, so I'm like relying on rides to and from.
Interesting.
So it would be a little bit challenging longer term.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like a carpooling thing. I don't know. I'm putting it out there as maybe. We'll see.
I'll tell you, I'm not rushing into the wrong apartment. Like I'm not going to pay too much for something that's just not great. And in New York, that is common, I think.
Yeah, I know. And it's like all of a sudden you're living in someone's closet on 119th Street. And you're like, why did I do this? What other questions can we answer for you, Sarah?
The only other question I have is I really love traveling and I want to make sure that I'm, finding some way to do that. And I just guess the question is like, what's the best way to save for like the fun stuff? Is it just to put it in a separate savings? Should I be investing some way or thinking about
so not investing. But I think if you want, like if you think about emergency reserve and you look at once you know what your rent is going to be, and if you say, okay, my real expenses are X, fill in the blank, and you make sure that you have 6 or 9 months of your emergency reserve built up. Excess after that, what you could do is that, you'll figure out what your free cash flow is, and you can either put it in that emergency reserve and just count that as your vacation fund. And some people do like to create a second account. Whatever mind game works for you, but not invested. Because if next year you're like, oh, my friends just like got an amazing deal to go to Costa Rica and I need $2,000 fast, you don't want to have that money invested.
Once the student loans are paid off, you're gonna feel a lot of extra cash flow. You can bump up your 401k, you can start a brokerage account, but I think first step is getting rid of the loans.
I totally agree. And you know what? You're doing great. You wrote in your email, like, I know that you didn't want us to go to grad school, but whatever, you went, and it sounds like it has so far been a good trade for you. And that's really good. So I hope that the rental fairy godmother taps you on the shoulder and finds you, or you find someone who is renting and needs a roommate. As you know, because, you're familiar with New York City, that the roommate thing is a good deal. Like that's when you start, like listen, my poor niece, she lived with like 4 people, which I think sounds hard. I'd rather live in a closet alone than live with 4 people in a large apartment. But, you start nosing around, see how things roll. And if you need any help at all, we're here for you. Okay.
Wow. You two are the best. Thank you for putting my nerves at ease. This is
you're in good shape. 26 years old. You're doing great. You're doing great. If you, like Sarah, need a little hand holding, want to understand like what the choices are ahead of you in terms of you've got some free cash flow, even if you have debt, whether you should be putting money into retirement, whether you should be putting money in that Travelog fund, whatever it is, we'd love to hear from you. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and you just complete the form. If you do want to come on the program, there's a little box to check. If you don't want to come on the program, just give us a lot of information so that when I do email episodes, we have the information we need. Do something nice for someone else today. Remember that we drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Mark Talercio is the co-host and the executive producer. We are distributed by Paramount Global. And our mantra here, curiosity, compassion, community. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you on Thursday.